welcome to Loot Shooter Weekly. This is season 3, episode 10. 10. There's a lot
10.
of we've made a lot of these.
Yeah, we have. It goes by so fast. It just goes.
It goes by
so
quickly.
Fast.
It does.
Time.
I am your host, Burt Reynolds, and my co-hosts tonight are Ghostmaker, our good average gaming friend Ghostmaker. He's representing totally average gamers everywhere. And of course, the one and only golden voice of gaming, Negan Killjoy. And,
what's up? How's it going, everybody? Woo whoop.
These two guys brought...
I could be called the natural light of gaming.
The natural... There you go.
Natty.
I like it.
Natty light. There we go.
Natural light of gaming. That is perfect. Tonight, they brought pets. A spider and a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Both running flat.
Which is, I think about it, is that one of the things that Zane says? Something about a spider and a monkey? I don't know. Something.
Anyway. It was a whole story about a drunken spider and a princess. Never mind. Is
never
along
mind.
Those lines.
Yes, that's true. Best dialogue in the game, right there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
PG-13, boys.
I know, right?
No,
hey man, we
18.
didn't write the dialogue for this game.
That's right.
So tonight we are going to be, we're in Borderlands 3 tonight, and I think that next week we'll be back in the Division, at least for a week, maybe a couple weeks, just because they're dropping some pretty fun-sounding content next week, having to do with zombies and reanimating enemies, and that sounds like fun. So, we've been here for a long time because, quite honestly, this game is fun and they drop new content every week, so there's always something new to do and somewhere new to be.
They do something every week for us right now. That's kind of nice.
They definitely do, yeah. But
and it's not broken.
It's also not that well.
It does have its issues, It
has issues, but it's
nothing's perfect. But you're right. It's a little more fun right now than other games.
It's definitely not as broken, and they don't nerf things and then say, "Oops, we made a mistake," and then unnerf them. They don't nerf the best weapon in the game and then claim it was an error. So there's that. The only viable weapon in the game. Although I assume the most viable weapon in this game at the moment, which I think I see several of us holding.
Well, we kind of had to after last week's discussion. I figured we had to all run yellow cakes.
It's probably gonna get nerfed soon.
Yeah,
at some point,
most likely.
At least some, or balanced. We'll call it balanced. Maybe it won't get nerfed.
Or the monocle.
We'll all be using the monocle. Yeah. So that's Anyway, we'll probably go back to play the little Division, at least for the stream next week. Tonight, we're going to be farming for something. And I'm actually going to talk a little bit about my build. These guys are both running... I know Negan's running a Rack Attack build on
That's correct.
Flak, and Ghost was debating Fadeaway versus Rack Attack.
Still running Fadeaway.
Still running Fadeaway. So they're running two different Flak builds. I'm running a Moe's build.
Fadeaway.
Crit Fadeaway. Crit Fadeaway build. Bossing build. The bossing, which is good, because we're going bossing.
We're going bossing tonight.
I'm running a bossing build. I'm running a Minesweeper comm on Moe's. And that's the one that drops micro grenades. And does a lot of splash damage. And yeah, lots of that stuff. I'm not running a Deathless, and I'm running a Last Stand Auto Idol. And I'm running Yellow Cake.
This is one of the first times you've been running a Minesweeper, right? I don't think you usually run Minesweeper, do you?
I usually run a Blastmaster or a Minesweeper. Minesweeper is better for bossing if you can hit crits and headshots. Blastmaster is better for mobbing. They're kind of interchangeable with one another. But I'm running a Sandhawk. I've been farming this guy, on and off all evening long, and a little bit yesterday. We're trying to get a Plaguebearer. This is the guy that drops the Plaguebearer. It's another launcher, one that probably won't experience a nerf. And so very effectively, you can kill this guy with a Sandhawk. If you can hit your critical hits, what you're doing is using the grenades that the critical hits drop, plus your own grenades, to stack up crit stacking. At times I'll crit for like 32 million on him with a Sandhawk.
Damn.
Which is enough to more or less almost just insta-kill him out of his last phase. So we will talk about the mechanics of him before we go down there, because I don't think these guys have run him in a little while. He comes up pretty early in the story, and he's a very unfun farm. It's a very unfun. This is one of the more unpleasant bosses in the game.
So it seems
Awesome.
seems perfect for a stream, an unfun farm. But we're chasing the Plaguebearers, what we're doing. So okay. So
But the Plaguebearer is a very fun weapon. So, you know, it's one of those things where they put a really fun weapon behind a really unfun farm.
Gotcha.
That's how these games are.
That is how they are.
Hey,
That's
man.
true.
It's not like putting the Eagle Bearer behind the entire raid, you know.
No, nobody does that.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
yes.
That's crazy. It's crazy talk. Do they make you go through it again for the blueprint? Yeah, no, nobody does that. You're crazy.
Well, and at least, you know, this is short. It's short. It's about 2 minutes. If you're efficient, you can get him done in about 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have probably a 1 in 50 chance of getting the Plaguebearer, but you know, 2 minutes a pop. It's not that bad. You know, weapons at the end of raids, and it's not. I called out the division. It's not fair to call them out. This game has the same thing, right? How many times did we run Malwan Takedown hoping to get a redistributor or Kive's Worth? You invest 2 hours, an hour, whatever. Maybe if you're efficient, half an hour, and you get nothing. Sucks. Destiny's much the same. You can run the raid in there. It could take you hours and hours and hours, and you get
seasons
nothing.
and seasons and seasons.
Yeah, right. Get nothing. So at least, you know, here, if you invest probably, you know, 2-3 hours, you're almost guaranteed you're going to get it. I mean, it is RNG, but you're...
Well, they do address the weapon drops, and they have addressed them, so we'll see how they work.
Yeah. Before we go any further, we have to go to the part of our segment where we talk about what we're drinking tonight. I went out and bought a beer in honor of Negan. I have not tried it yet. This will be my first try on it. I am going to drink Ghost Ride, which is a Kolsch-style ale from Revolution Brewing in Chicago. They're little symbols of fist.
Nice.
It's one of the bigger independent breweries in Chicago. Pretty popular around here. I've never had this beer ever in my life, and that's what I'm going to give a try tonight. So Negan's a big Kolsch fan. I'm going to drink a Kolsch. What are you consuming tonight, Negan?
Well, it's a little bit ironic because I decided to go in honor of you and the weather that you're having, the nice crisp winter-like weather you all are. Cold weather. And actually, it's by a brewery called Ghost Town. So we're having the Ghost, going. But this one's called Ojuary. And it is described as a robust porter that's supposed to taste like
porter.
They describe it as tastes like a cup of dark roast coffee with a hint of caramel like burnt sugar. So we're doing that. So really, I think it should be opposite, considering the weather that we're both experiencing. I should be drinking the Kolsch because it's super hot out here.
And you're a Kolsch fan.
I'm a Kolsch fan, exactly.
I'm a porter and stout fan. So
yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
we're turning it all around. We're mixing it up. That's right. And I know Ghost doesn't drink beer because it's a girl's drink. Blah blah blah. What's Ghost doing tonight?
I'm drinking water.
Drinking water.
Well, I also you guys really believe that. I know what fish do in water, so I really don't drink water.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say.
I'm actually having a peach Crown Royal.
Peach Crown Royal.
I don't think you're supposed to admit to that in public either. Peach
it doesn't have an umbrella
Royal?
in it, so don't get your panties in the water.
Yeah. If I can't make a whiskey sour at Buffalo Trace, I don't think you should be able to drink peach Crown Royal.
No, they ship it that way. It's not like I'm making it a girl drink.
Okay, it starts off. Just starts off that way, but I won't say that part.
Right. Yeah.
Nice. All right, peach Crown Royal. I had never actually even heard of that, so that's kind of a new thing
Find
I've
you
never
some.
heard of.
None of
Yeah,
us are having girl drinks tonight because none of us are drinking White Claw. So let's toast to
right.
that.
Yes, claw free. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
No angry orchards. Although
No angry orchards.
Patrick Stewart is a reason.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
So
So
to get myself in trouble every now and then, I like a hard cider too. So there we go. West Coast, all about the West Coast. In that point.
Well, you said hard, so yeah.
All right.
So
on that note, let's talk about what we're doing tonight.
On the note of difficult and hard, let's talk about what we're going to do here. So we're about to go farm the warden. Again, he came up during story mode for all of us. It's probably been a while. On Mayhem 10, he's pretty tricky, and he's going to go through 3 immunity phases. He's got a yellow bar of health and a red bar of health. You knock him down a third of the red bar, he goes into immunity phase. You knock him down another third, he goes into immunity phase. You knock him down to red bar, and he goes into a final immunity phase. And then he enrages. Once he enrages, he's going to chase after you. So yellow cakes are good for knocking down the yellow bar and the immunity phases. The trick to this one is you got to stay moving all the time because there's also going to be ads that spawn. And once he goes into the enrage phase, though, yellow cakes are a bad idea because he will close the gap on you by lunging. If you've just fired off your yellow cake, good chance that it's going to blow up right in your face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bad form, as they say. Bad form.
So that's where we're going to use something like a Sandhawk on him in the end, because at least that way we won't blow ourselves up with our yellow cakes. Whatever you got, other good guns
OPQ
for
is
bossing.
good.
OPQ is good. Lob is good. Anything that does a lot of single point damage real quickly is good, because we want to burst him down as fast as possible once we get him down into that red bar. With that,
oh, hang on,
time
let
to
me
go
see what I can
farming,
find real
boys.
fast.
Plaguebearer time.
All right, let's do this.
Let's
Ready to go.
take your. Oh, plan on your pets all dying. And on that note,
there you go. You got
All
it,
right,
Burt.
let's wait up here, Negan. You got it,
Yep,
Burt.
I'm waiting. You got this, Burt.
well,
Oh,
I probably
there's
do
my
have
animal.
it.
My animal's helping you. There
Yep.
we go. All right, we've done our part.
Okay, he's out of the first immunity phase. He is jumping at me, which is going to cause me, even in my thing, to go second wind. Okay, he's on second immunity phase. See, this is that jumping thing he does.
Yep.
Right.
So you just gotta, if he starts to jump at you and you're using your yellow cake, you just gotta stop firing and move back.
Okay, new guns.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I remember this guy now. All his buddies. Yeah, leave me alone, little midget. Little tink.
Let's keep the midgets out of it.
I would, except this one's hitting me over here, so I had to do something with him.
Ghost hates the midgets.
Yeah, Ghost is not a big fan of the midgets.
Tinks are not on Ghost's list of favorite things in this game. All right, there he is. He's down. Now we got to kill ads because they do not despawn. Of course, he dropped a ton of loot. Again, we're looking for
what? Really? One tink left and
Plaguebearer.
he takes me out? Oh, great.
Get up.
That's some
Where's your
straight
pet,
up.
Negan?
Yeah, no
Where's
kidding.
your
Well, you
pet?
said the pets
Huh?
are going to die, so they died.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, mine just came back too. There we go. Wow, a lot of cash, a lot of loot laying out there. This should be nothing but Plaguebearers for all of us.
Unfortunately, I don't think it is. You'd see it. The Plaguebearer is huge, so a very large weapon. So you'll know it when you see it.
That's what she said.
The loot, of course, is not even dropping. A lot of it's not dropping at Mayhem 10 level for whatever
Really?
reason in here.
Oh, that's not
So
good.
don't pick stuff up unless you know that it. Like, look at the damage rolls on it. If it's sub 1,000, chances are it's not. Cutsman. This Cutsman is.
Got another
About
Rose's
half of them are,
Thorns.
half of them aren't. Half of them are, half of them aren't. Turbo 10 gallon is.
any.
This Crossroad is
Mayhem 10s.
not.
Yeah, mine are like 1,200 and 2,000 is the damage on my gun, so not Mayhem 10.
Got a Iron Bear hyper focus, Bert.
What does it say for Iron Bear? Cooldown?
No.
Don't use ammo?
No, don't use ammo is what it is.
Mm-hmm. So that's him. The Plaguebearer, again, it's like Scourge 2.0, and it's a big one. Like, it'll drop, and it's this huge launcher. So you'll know when you get it. It's not like it's gonna get lost in the
And all the
in the
gold and
clutter.
yellow and stuff. That stands out pretty much.
Stands out. You'll see it, and you'll be like, "Oh, wow, that's a giant weapon," and that is what that's what we're farming for. So we're gonna do what we do, and we're gonna reset and get a feel for this. So
sounds good.
let me.
So I gotta ask, Ghost. Recently you've been running, I believe, Amara quite a bit. What made you flip to Flak? What made you flip to Flak?
Just to check out the fadeaway build with this new shield.
Oh, what shield are you running?
The Aegis stopgap.
Oh, okay.
The on-action skill start trigger, the immunity shield. The one I gave you guys the other night,
Right.
I think.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah, I need to start using my actions more. I'm not using them enough to take advantage of that. I always forget.
Yeah, so the shield we're talking about is I farmed for shield last week because my other build's in Amara, and there's a shield anointment that on action skill start it triggers any break or fill attributes of the shield. Or I think some builds actually have on shield break and on shield fill, and maybe I don't know. None of my builds do, but I think some do. It triggers those instead on action skill start or in addition. It's not even instead, and so you can basically on Flak and on Amara, who are able to really spam skills, you can basically become immune. Like, well, I hear on Flak.
Relatively free.
I hear on Flak, it's if you do it right, it's 100% of the time. On Amara, it's like 98% of the time. So not quite that 100, but close. And it does just, it makes her very strong. What you lose out on her is one additional element, right? Because normally you would have an ASC 50 of a certain element there, and so you miss out on that. And then if you've got Harmageddon in your Guardian rank tree active, you're losing out on 5% damage from Harmageddon because it's one less element that you're applying. But you're immune, so take your pick, right? Like that's a way better thing, I think, being immune almost all the time. So,
right. Well, because as the saying goes, when you're dead, you're not putting out any DPS, so staying alive is more advantageous.
Correct. Yep. That would be my take on it as well, Negan. All right. So, do we got this done? Feel like we're good?
I think so.
Take your pets in and kill them again?
That's right. That's right. We'll join you the first time when you first get in there.
You don't have to. You want to stay up top the whole time, that's fine. Whatever.
As you can imagine, that's super exciting hanging out up top.
You do you, boo. Whatever you're feeling.
That's right. Well, I feel like killing this guy, so just to get through it and be done with it, get us our Plaguebearers, at least one. Let's see if we get at least one Plaguebearer for everybody.
I would like that. Or at least one with... I have a Plaguebearer. I'd like to get one with a different anointment. I think really what we're looking... And just so you guys know, what we're looking for here is the 390 anointment on a Plaguebearer, because the Plaguebearer does a lot of damage to a lot of enemies. And it's really a mobbing weapon.
Right.
And so in theory, at the time when you're firing it, everybody you're going to be trying to mob against is going to have... 100% armor or
right.
Health.
So
and
when you say 390, you mean the 300% damage if the person's over 90% health?
90% health. Yeah, that would be the ideal anointment for it because theoretically, I mean, again, we're looking for it as a mobbing weapon. Chances are everybody that it's going to hit if you're going into an open zone and trying to mob with it is going to have full health or full shields. And so it's probably going to be most effective with that anointment on it.
And describe what it does again. So since you're saying it does good for mobbing, why is that?
So it fires a giant orb, a la the lob, except for it's a launcher, and it fires out this giant ball, orb, lob-looking thing, and that goes out across the map, and it drops like projectiles, meteors, for lack of a better way of putting it, kinda. I mean, they're kind of like explodey things off of it, sheds them off all over the place, blowing everything up around it. And so it's long as it's on, it just kind of floats across, dropping these things that blow everybody up. If you have any amount of splash damage in your tree, so Amara's 1 splash damage bonuses, of course, all of Mo's. And if you get, if you have splash damage bonuses on your comm or whatever, it's a very effective gun for mobbing.
That makes sense. Totally makes sense for mobbing.
Versus, not that the yellow cake's not good for mobbing. The yellow cake's fine for mobbing. The yellow cake uses a lot of ammo very quick. If you don't have like a Mo's build, I can shoot yellow cake all day, every day, and it regens its own ammo because the splash damage gets me back ammo. So it's basically I have infinite yellow cake. But the yellow cake
not just infinite. You actually end up, as we've discovered last week, I think, you end up with more than you started the fight with.
Yes, that very often happens. But the yellow cake's also super dangerous to yourself.
Right.
You could blow yourself up with it a lot. And as we were talking about at the start of the show, pretty sure the yellow cake's going to get balanced at some point.
Yeah.
Everybody ready for the reset?
Yep, go for it.
Yep, good.
So when it gets balanced, we're all going to be looking for something else. You know what I mean? And it's just the very nature, right, of everything. So we don't want to rely on the fact that the yellow cake's the gun. We want to have other options. And it can be just fun to play with something different.
Plaguebearers not new with Mayhem 10. It's been around for
a bit, right?
No,
Plaguebearers new with Mayhem 10.
Oh, okay.
Plaguebearers,
I thought I read it was around for a while. Okay.
No.
As I say, so it hasn't survived a balance run yet, so it may be balanced as well.
Yeah, point. But it's from what I read about it, it is pretty well balanced.
Okay.
It's got its place. It is a sucky bossing weapon. Doesn't do anything. Like that's where something like I don't find the yellow cake to be OP because it's very dangerous to the user who's using it. So I personally don't think the yellow cake needs a nerf. It probably needs an ammo pass on it where it's like you can't have it as unlimited of ammo on it.
I would say OPQ is more OP than yellow cake.
Yeah, I think that is probably true. Because the OPQ has a ton of uses and very little threat.
Right.
To you. It's a very safe gun.
We had this discussion last week, so I disagree a little bit on that, but we're good.
Well, I was going to say, the problem with the yellow cake, though, I think where it is OP, is that it's good at both bossing and mobbing. Like, you could literally run that gun and that gun only, and play the whole game, beat everything in it, whether it's a mob or a boss, and never have to switch guns. That's wrong. And you should not be able to do that. It should be situational. So,
but if you have the times two, it does take ammo, so I don't think you could do the whole game.
Well, I could do the whole game with Mo's because I gen back more ammo than I start with, so I could never take it off.
Yeah, and even with my flak, I don't find I'm running out of ammo that much with yellow cakes. So, you start off with like 40 something. So, and the game does a good job, generally speaking, of timing it just about right when they give you ammo dumps. So they kind of figure how long it should take you. Should you be down. But I can see certain points of that happening, but the game does a good job. Yeah, see, the OPQ, I don't think, again, like you said, it's a good all-around gun, but I don't think it's overpowered as far as damage that it does.
Well,
So.
if you like, again, and this is where that gun shines on Moe's, I have almost 100% uptime with the second gun.
Right.
Yeah, usability is just always there.
So I can shred a boss down with that. And if I jump in and out of my bear, then I can spawn. Even they fixed a lot of the spamming of the guns, but I can still spawn 6 of them. I can't spawn 10, but I can spawn 6.
Right.
6 extra guns with you, doing, a lot of 9,000 damage a second or whatever. It's times 6. That's a lot of damage, man.
Yeah.
It bursts down bosses pretty hard.
Yeah, but that's very, very specific. That's that's not. I guess that would be meta or something like that. I mean, it was so specific that they went in and they did the balancing run on that one. So
yeah, they did. But I'm just saying, like, I think the thing so when we look at, Plaguebearer, is the Plaguebearer going to get a balancing pass? Maybe. I don't think it needs it near as much as many other guns do. Again, reason being, the Plaguebearer is just a mobbing gun, not a bossing gun. Like, if you went in and tried to shoot Grave Ward with the Plaguebearer, you're going to be in there for half an hour. It's not going to kill
fun.
him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And on that note, I mean, in a weird way, the Chaosin is both a good mobbing and bossing gun, depending on the build. Sandhawk, the Sandhawk's it's very OP, but it's very well balanced. It is really, because of the ammo restrictions, not an effective, even on Moe's, who's regenning ammo. Man, the Sandhawk just uses too much. And so you cannot really regen the ammo on the Sandhawk fast enough.
Okay. So the Sandhawk's, in your opinion, Sandhawk's in a good place? As far
Sandhawk's
as that
in
goes.
a good place. Yep.
I agree with that.
And you think the Plaguebearer is in a good place because of it's not good for bossing, so it's a specific type action.
It's fair. I feel like that's fair.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. No, I agree. Not having one, I can't say whether you're incorrect or not. I've never played with one, so I'm gonna take your word for it this time, Burt. But when I get one and it turns out doing everything that you say it doesn't, then we're gonna talk.
And on this run, nobody's gonna find out, I don't think, because I didn't get one. I don't know about you guys, but
nope.
No Plaguebearer
I do have
for
a
me.
Stark Krakatoa with sliding, which is always what you want.
That's right.
But check the damage on that. Everything that dropped in here this time is like Mayhem 0 for me. Like 400.
It's terrible.
400 damage.
Oh yeah, a defrauding bitch with 994. Yeah, it's definitely not a Mayhem.
It's not even worth selling.
Actually, that reminds me, guys. Before we'll go up top and talk again for a minute, and then we're actually like pretty much at time.
Yeah, we are.
But I did get a class mod for one of the two of you. It's a head hunting cosmic stalker with assault rifle damage, Vladoff weapon reload speed, and corrosive resistance. But the assault rifle damage, I figure, is probably nice for somebody. And
especially that we were just talking about the OPQ.
Yeah.
Well, Negan can pick that up.
That's here, Negan. In the middle. I'll dance by it.
All right,
I'll
dance.
teabag it. Teabag it.
Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me. Hey, hey, hey. Got it.
Actually, I'm gonna make it rain. Making it rain. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna hit the reset. We'll go back up top, and we will talk about our drinks for the night, and we'll talk about, again, just kind of the state of things, and then we will sign off for this evening. And again, like I said, tune in next week. I think we'll be probably in the Division 2 for the evening, just to take a look at what does it look like to have the animated enemies, zombies.
Yeah,
so
not
to
only
speak.
not only reanimated, but apparently the headshot effect is very similar to Outbreak from Div 1 that has the that spreads the disease around those near the people you shoot with a headshot. So that was fun in Div 1.
It
The
was
Outbreak
fun.
global events was fun. Although I think all the global events pretty much in Div 1 were pretty fun.
Well, and I think that's what I'm most excited about, right? Like, there's a global event, which, that's kind of cool. One that changes the mechanics of the game. The last ones they did were irritating. So this seems fun.
Yes, it does.
Which
And
I
I'm
think
not
they
usually-
got that feedback last time, right? I believe they got the feedback last time, like, hey, these actually aren't fun. It's actually just a really unpleasant experience. So this time around, they are making it fun, and from what I understand, it is fun. So looking forward to trying that out, and looking forward to doing a different game next week just for the heck of it. See how that plays out. So so anyway, going back to the strat. So again, really, we were just using yellow cakes on him and sandhawks, but 3 phases of immunity, get him into his red bar. Careful with any weapons that splash a bunch of damage around, because he will close the gap on you super quick. He is the source of the Plaguebearer. We did not get one tonight.
No, we didn't. That's when we played a sad music. Wah, wah.
Sad business, really, because I haven't gotten one in all the farming I've done. So that's a lot of runs, which tells you something about the drop rates of the Mayhem 10 weapons on buses. Now, that said, they must not be uniform. They must not be uniformly applied, because I get a Chaos in about every 7th run of Trant, maybe between 7 and 10 runs. I get a Monarch between 7 and 10 runs of Kilovolt, pretty much reliably. I've gotten one Plaguebearer in probably 80 runs of the Warden. So there must not be uniform. That's all I can say about that. And I've only gotten 2 of the DNAs in probably 80 runs of General Trant. So that's not great. And the DNA sucks. That's the even more ironic part about that. Don't go farm for the DNA. It's not a good gun. There are not all the new Mayhem 10 guns are great. There's the message right there. Most of the cartel guns are good. Pretty much all of them I've played with are good. Even the needle gun's good. Not all of the Mayhem 10 guns are good. With that,
so speak to, like, what are your favorite guns right now? What guns are you running? Obviously the yellow cake. We're running that quite a bit. You running the Sandhawk quite a bit, or what are your favorite top 3 guns right now?
Top 3 guns right now. My top gun right now is the Chaosin. I love it.
Okay.
I love that gun. I love it on every build I have it on, especially the 2X full auto variant of it. So good. Such a good gun. Such a fun gun to use. I still love the Hell Shock. Honestly, if you get one with good anointment, the Hell Shock still puts in work. My favorite assault rifle, and this will sound weird, I really like the Monarch more than I like the OPQ system. I like it better, but the OPQ is good. On a most build, if I'm running my full-on Blastmaster build with like the infinite ammo going, I really, really, really like the, what is that thing called? No, Pew Pew. It
Gotcha.
feels like I'm a gunner. I'm running around with an almost infinite, like the gun barely heats up if I'm throwing grenades. It's like an infinite Gatling gun. It's super fun. Now,
nice.
It's not super effective. Not nearly as effective as a lot of those other guns. Like, it's definitely, I would say that is the 3rd best assault rifle in the game at the moment. After the Monarch and the OPQ. I don't love the yellow cake. I run it all the time because the game kind of forces me to run it as a, get out of fight for your life and that kind of thing. But I don't actually like it that much. It
All right.
I hear it called the cheesecake often, and I would have to agree with that. I get
Right.
you
right,
could
no,
cheese
definitely.
a lot of stuff with it, right? Like
Yes.
yeah. How about you?
Okay,
What's your
yeah.
favorite gun, Negan? I'm interested in what your favorite
Actually,
gun is.
I agree with you. When I run the Chaosin, it's actually a fun gun. I enjoy that. Just all the fireworks display that you can get off the Chaosin is fun. So I enjoy that
Right.
one. The OPQ is probably my go-to gun. I use that quite a bit. And then the Hellshock. So yeah, you and I are pretty much in agreement as far as the top. I think the three guns that are the most fun and seem to have the most use and stuff. And like we talked about with the yellow cake, it's there. It does its work. I like the cheesecake name of it. Got
Yeah.
start referring to it as that. That's definitely what it does. So those are my favorite three right now.
How about you? Totally average gamer Ghostmaker? The natty
Well,
light.
I'm going to
natty
kind of
light
break a
of
little bit. I'm
gamers?
going to go with Hellshock. I really like that after it gets warmed up. Then I'm going to go with OPQ, but as my third favorite, I'm going to go with Sandhawk.
Yeah. It's
Good choice.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, whenever you're in fight for your life, I totally agree. Switch to the yellow cake and get back. But just as far as consistent damage that's, well, consistent, I'll go with Sandhawk.
Yeah. The Sandhawk is a great gun. It is a great gun. And I think the best thing about the Sandhawk I can say, aside from the fact that it just bursts ridiculous amounts of damage, is like if you're trying to apply an elemental effect to something because of how much single point damage it does, like if you want to freeze somebody, a cryo Sandhawk is amazing. Even if you don't have any cryo in your build, you can turn something into a block of ice in a second. It's like a CC thing instantly with that gun, which is super helpful. And
Yes. Sounds like I need to run the Sandhawk more. I haven't run that much. I need to run that a couple of times, see what it does.
It's a super cool gun. And for those who don't know, if you switch it to semi-auto mode, like the ideal roll on it is to have full auto and semi-auto, not burst. But if you switch it to semi-auto, if you have one that's full auto and semi-auto or burst and semi-auto, you actually get a damage buff on semi-auto. You have to pull the trigger more times, obviously, but it's more damage and you can usually stack it up on somebody's crit spot a lot better. So there's that. Something to think about. But yeah, super good gun. I like that,
cool.
Ghost. I think you made a wise choice in picking that one. We got to cover off on our beverages. How are you feeling, Ghostmaker, about the
Speaking
peach
of not
Crown
making
Royal?
wise choices.
I really like it. I'm not much into the flavored, but the peach Crown Royal is really good and definitely worth the try.
That's a good recommendation.
Yeah.
Negan Killjoy, since we went with you, you'll go in the middle again. You're in the middle of the sandwich this time.
Nice.
How are you feeling about yours?
A little awkward now, but okay. I like it. Actually, I do enjoy porters. There may not be a lot out there because I don't think I drink them as much as I could, but I do enjoy porters, and this one is really, really good. It is like a cup of coffee. It's like a nice, good cup of coffee, with the caramel notes and stuff like that. It's really good. I would definitely have this more. And with the hot weather, it makes it a little more difficult to drink a heavy dark beer. But yeah, I can see this, one night around a fire somewhere sometime soon. That'd be kind of nice. I like it. Probably 7, 8 out of 10. Probably up there towards the top.
Very nice.
Really
Very
good.
nice.
I wish I had more. I only have one. I'm very disappointed in myself.
Oh, yeah, you have to get more of that. Is
Definitely.
it readily available?
Yeah, like it's a local brewery. Literally, it's out of West Oakland is where they brew it. And so I can get it there anytime I want. They're doing the online ordering and stuff like that right now. So I should be able to get this whenever. So I'm excited about that. It's very good. So, and it's only 6% alcohol. So it's not a real heavy porter as far as alcohol goes.
That's always the problem with stouts and porters these days is nobody's happy unless they're like a double imperial, and then you're looking at something that's 13-14% alcohol by volume. And it's like, man, that's not an easy drinking beer. Might taste good, but it's not an easy drinking beer. And if you want to be effective at gaming, that is not a good drink to have.
No, you don't pour yourself a 12-ounce glass of that and hope that you're going to be good at gaming as the night progresses. Definitely not.
Right.
So
not a good idea.
And what'd you think of your Kolsch?
So I don't drink enough of them. That's my determination. I don't know if this is good or not, Negan.
That's your problem.
I
What do you mean you don't? Did you enjoy it?
it's
You can say no.
It's
I
all-
won't be offended.
it's okay. I just don't know if it tastes like it. See, here's the thing with Revolution. They're very into their hoppy beers.
Okay.
This is a little hoppy. It's kind of bitter and almost sour. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. I do still get a lot of hops aftertaste, which to me, when I think Kolsch, I thought they kind of had a sweeter taste to them. Maybe a
They
more.
generally do. They're not usually very hoppy, and they're certainly not bitter or sour. Usually not. When
Okay.
when I have the cultures I have, that's not usually what they are either.
The couple times I've had Kolsch's, to me, they were almost like a wheat beer, like a wit beer. Kind of got that sweet, maybe hint of spicy, but like sweet taste to them. So that's what I was anticipating. This is not that. So maybe it's just not a good Kolsch. It's not bad. I mean, it's totally drinkable. I bet it would be delicious if it was actually 90 degrees out here.
Right. Like any good golden beer, really good when it's nice and hot outside.
I will say that it is light. It's light on the tongue. I don't feel full drink in it. It's very low alcohol content, like 4.1. It's
Yes,
not a
they are.
heavy hitter. It's a good, like, yeah, I'm going to have a beer and kick back and do some gaming beer. So
There
I'm
you
not
go.
disappointed on that front. And I would give it a 5 out of 10, partly because I don't know if it tastes the way it should, partly because I would drink it. It's way better than like a PBR or a Coors Light.
Right, absolutely.
Light years better than that. So yeah,
Okay.
I'd give
Oh,
it a
cool.
50%, 5 out of 10, which I realize is an F, but it's not an F. Maybe like a C.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole 10 ranges, we don't go by Fs and As and stuff and that stuff. You kidding me? We're all good. Because
Right.
mine hit, 7 8 out of 10, and it's really good. It should be a 100% get an A out of it, but like I said,
Each
7 or 8.
round is 9 out of 10.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. So
There we go.
So I think I know the correct answer to this, and I hope I know the correct answer to this, but I'm going to ask you, Ghost. Push comes to shove, you going to have a glass of Buffalo Trace or a glass of Peach Crown Royal?
Oh, Buffalo Trace.
Okay, all right. I was a little worried when you paused there for a
Good
second.
man.
No.
Good man.
No.
It's like, all right, man. Stay true, man. Stay true.
Well, on that note, Negan will do us the honors of signing us off, as he always does. But we will be back next week, again, probably coming to you from Div 2, barring any unforeseen difficulties like they screw up the patch,
Which would be
Which-
totally shocking.
which would be
Yes.
totally out of character for Massive. I'm totally out of character for them. We will be in the division, and we'll come to you and show you what it looks like with the reanimated event going on. If they do screw up the patch and nerf the M1A again, then we will be here showing you some other farm. But yeah, we'll go from there.
Maybe actually, if we're here again, maybe actually go over a couple of the builds with the new stuff as well. So
I mean, here's the thing with the builds in this game. I'll give my last final thought on that because I gave it to Ghost earlier today on Discord. Here's the build for Mayhem 10. Any Chaosin,
Yellow cake.
any Chaosin, and any yellow cake, and any build you want, and you're ready for Mayhem 10. Doesn't matter
Nice.
beyond that, man.
Not
Does
a lot of
not matter
viability.
beyond that. Put a shield
Gotcha.
on, equip some sort of grenade, get a Chaosin and a yellow cake, and you're good to go. You can go play anything in Mayhem 10. And
Or Monarch.
that's pretty much all you need. Yeah,
I
Monarch
think
would work
Monarch
too.
would do good.
Yeah, Monarch
Yes.
too.
All right.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, it looks
Sounds
like
good.
Hey, somebody gave you some embers. Look at that.
Let me
Mr.
give me
Zitty
some
says, hey.
embers. Hey, Mr. Zitty. Thanks for the embers. Appreciate that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us again, Ghost, and everybody else.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
See ya.